Athens debate. Dr. Timothy Elizondo here. Thought that I would try something a little bit different. Why? Because I wasn't able to attend the advanced impromptu lab yesterday. Felt kind of bad about that. I was stuck in dad mode, but spent all night thinking about it, being racked with guilt, not being able to help the students in Athens debate prepare for the tournaments that they have coming up down the road. I know me personally, I also have an impromptu tournament due in about 3 weeks that I'm stressing out about, so I figure why not make a video in which I create a impromptu point. I don't like using the word tidbit. I don't really have a word yet, but I like thinking of it as kind of a fully formed kind of appetizer, a part of a dish in a larger course, so to speak, because at an impromptu tournament, it's kind of like that show Iron Chef. When you show up, they're like, the magic ingredient you have to cook is with sea bass. And then I go to my recipes and I try to figure out a dish that I can put in the course that hopefully the judge will find to be delicious. So with that in mind, I'm going to set my timer here for approximately 13 minutes and 30 seconds. Personally, I like working about 15 minutes a day on impromptu or my forensic related goals. Kind of taking baby steps, right? Kind of a journey of 1,000 steps, because I feel eventually I'll get there in the end. So let's do that for 13 minutes and 19 seconds and see what happens. And today's impromptu point is going to be about Finding Dory, because I was recently able to be bequeathed a list by the gods of Athens, who created a really sweet list of different impromptu ideas. And I saw that Finding Dory was on there. And I thought to myself, I don't have Finding Dory in my impromptu box. It's a canonical piece of the Texar films. How could I be missing that? So figure I'd work on that, show you exactly my process. And in order to get started for this particular video, I did a couple of different things. I created a Word document. I then went to Wikipedia. I copied the first couple of paragraphs from Wikipedia, put that into the Word document, and I figure we'll kind of go from there. So, zip. And if you notice, it's in paragraph form, and I don't like paragraph form. I like subordination, the use of points and subpoints and sub-subpoints. Probably at least 3 subpoints to this particular idea. Starting out with what I call my grandma stuff, the things I need to tell grandma in order for grandma to understand kind of the context or the basic information. Then I move to the extraction point, what it is I'm going to be talking about specifically, and then finally the link to the thesis, which is the larger argument my impromptu or the point is trying to make. So in here, I don't think we're going to be getting to the 3rd subpoint, because that's somewhat dependent on the quotation, although I might have ideas that I shove in there about what I could actually potentially link it to. So I think the first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of all the blue. Don't like that. All right, now let's have all black. We know that it's Finding Nemo, and I think I'm going to start with a Roman numeral 1. Because Microsoft Word automatically turns that into an outline, and I don't have to do a lot of work. I just hit return and tabs, and it will kind of structure it for me. So I like this film. It's a 2000 commuter animated comedy drama adventure film. I don't think we need that it's a drama adventure film. I don't think we need that. And it is American animated. Yeah, okay. Animated film. I don't think we need by it's produced by Pixar Animation Studios. What's all this underlining? Gotta get rid of that. All right. For Walt Disney Pictures, like that. Directed by Andrew Stanton. I like that. I want to keep the creator. He or they might be important. So, because Stanton wrote it. It stars the voices of Albert Brooks. I don't think we need all of those. I think we just need 2. And Ellen DeGeneres, I like that. Ellen DeGeneres is kind of infamous now for being kind of grouchy. So I'm going to put in a joke. Before she became a grouch. How about it just in her pre-grouchy days? That's not how I spell grouchy. How do you spell grouchy? Okay. Don't need any of that. And then here is the story. I don't think I need the story yet. I don't want that. I'm going to want it there, but I'm going to want it someplace else because I like starting the impromptu point with significance. I like the first things out of my mouth as far as like this new information to try to convince the judge that I'm being relevant or that I have some sort of significance to my idea. I say that because I've seen lots of impromptu speakers and they pull out these really weird like books or video games or characters, and it functions, it works, but I don't know about it, and I'm kind of left as a judge wondering like why the relevancy, you know? Like in Batman number 375, the character Egghead is like, well, what does Egghead have to do with anything? He's not really one of the main villains in the Batman lore, so why him, right? So I don't think we need any of that. Tells the story. So for significance, I'm going to go all the way down here and I'm going to pull out some information about how successful the film was because I want to put that up on top. Highest grossing animated film just released. Okay. Second highest grossing film. Don't think I need that. Do I want to say it was the best-selling DVD of all time? Because I'm sure some of you are probably asking, what's a DVD? Don't know if I need that. But this is the section I'm going to work with. And I'm going to put that before I get to the stars. And I'm going to put directed by, created by Andrew Stanton. Okay, so this film at its time, sure, was the highest grossing out of the time. Okay. I don't think I need any of this. It won Best Animated Film, but so what? That's what I want. American Film Institute. Don't care that it was released in 3D. Doesn't matter. And was named one of the American Film Institutes. Because I don't want to say it was named number 10. Because then the judge will be like, well, what about the other? Maybe my competition has like number 9. And all of a sudden, like, so I'm just going to say it was named one of. Yeah, I just want to say of. All right, so let's get rid of that. Let's do that. Let's make sure it all looks nice. Okay, highest graded animated films. That's fine. Was highest graded animated film. I don't think I need that. This film was named one of the American Film Institute's greatest American. I don't know. Institute's greatest animated film. I think animated films. Of all time. I mean, in history. Let's get rid of all this because we don't need the sequel because the sequel wasn't very good. All right. I don't think we need Stanton there. But I think Stanton's important. Why? Because the inspiration for Finding Nemo sprang from multiple experiences going back to Stanton's childhood. Okay, so that's important. Because now all of a sudden, after I get to the plot, I kind of want to start talking about, like, or thinking about, like, what am I going to do with this? Like, how can I use this in different ways? And I think that there's 3 different ideas. This. Grandma stuff. This is extracting ideas. Okay, so I think there's a couple of them that I want to talk about that I think might be useful. The first is going to be Marlin. Fears everything due to the death of his millions of children and the loss of his life. Right. Over the film, he projects this fear to his sole surviving son. Come on, Tim, you can do it. All right, yeah. All right, yeah. Learning to go and confront its fear. All right, but that's not all. We could also talk about Nemo. Learns to evolve. Learns to evolve and become new self, right? And that's shark bait. He kind of learns to become shark bait, and he learns to kind of just kind of like be awesome, right? Learns to evolve, learns to grow. Represents young, overcoming kind of parents. Parental trauma. Kind of. I don't think that that's that out of line. But I think the last thing that I think is interesting is that we could talk about Andrew Stanton. Why? Because it seems like the inspiration for this film sprang from his multiple experiences where he loved going to the dentist. Okay. But he assumed that the fish were people, right? And that they wanted to go home. Which, tying this to getting rid of all that stuff, ties to anthropomorphism. And I'm going to put that all in caps. Anthropomorph. You might say, Tim, why are you doing that? Because in class, right, a couple weeks ago, we talked about anthropomorphism, this idea that human beings assign human-like qualities to things outside themselves, like inanimate objects or animals, plants. So this is a really good example of that. And if I am using anthropomorphism, say in my first point, I'm putting this in all caps to remind myself that this links to another card that I have. I don't necessarily have to use it, but it is there, and that is super awesome. Love that. Love that. All right, so, I gotta test this out. How long is this? All right, let's see. I'm gonna start here. Finding Nemo is a 2003 animated American film by Pixar Animation Studios made for Walt Disney. This film is a personal favorite of mine and was named one of the American Film Institute's greatest animated films of all time. This film, starring the voices of Albert Brooks and Ellen DeGeneres in her days before she was somewhat of a grouch, tells the story of an overprotective clownfish named Marlin, who, along with his forgetful sidekick Dory, searches for his missing son Nemo among the 7 seas. All right, there we go. So I don't think I need this along the way, along the 7 seas. So let's put that there. Okay. So this is the information that I'm going to just start practicing, trying to figure out how long is it. It looked on this, my timer looked about 35 seconds. So I probably want to maybe shorten it up a little bit, but I don't know. I think I'm just going to be practicing that over and over again, right? Seeing if I like the American animated film by Pixar, made by Pixar. I don't think I need animated studios. By Pixar, this personal favorite, I want to say favorite film made for like talking fish or something like that. Favorite film about Talking fish. All right, well, that's all the time I've got, so that's as far as I'm going to get. I'm going to practice this first point. Hopefully this is helpful, and I'll see you later. All right, bye, Athens.